New moon in Gemini. Guess I better do a reading. A-D, A-G, A-G. New moon in Gemini. Guess I better do a reading. So, I'm going to do that. I thought I was going to get to go to sleep early, but it's new moon in Gemini. So, I guess I better get up and do a reading. Luckily, I already shuffled the cards. So let's see what we got. Figure out how to position. Hey, everybody. I am legit in the bed. Like, in the bed. Tucked in, like a bug in a rug. I thought I was going to sleep, and then my energy started to get a little bit more crunk, and I knew it was new moon in Gemini sometime, but I didn't realize it was actually tonight. So, I'm going to do a reading real quick. I should be in bed. I know it's early, though. It's not 10 o'clock yet. But you see, I had already burnt my little incense. I did a lot of crap today. Got a massage, got some steam, went in the sauna, went in the pool. I did a lot today. I just got here like at 1 o'clock. I know, I love this deck too. So, all right, I'm going to start with that. Thala's going. So, let me figure out how to... maneuver this. So, hey Chris. So I think what I'm gonna do is So I think what I will do, what I've been doing is pulling a card a day. Hey baby. I've been pulling a card a day and then journaling. But I think what I'll do for this new moon is, I wonder if my music is too loud. It always is. I think what I'll do is I'll pull a card specifically for the energy of the new moon. And so, the cards that I pull are going to be for this time. Oh, it's not too loud. Okay, good. It might be too loud for me, just for the concentration piece, but I think it'll be okay. All right, so I'm gonna start with, I don't have my regular tarot deck. I just have all oracle cards tonight, but that's fine. So this is gonna carry us from the new moon to the full moon. Okay, so it's gonna carry us from today until when the moon reaches its peak and it's full. I use, really the only tarot deck I use now is an Afro-Brazilian deck. And it's the Scarabeo deck. It's an Italian deck, or at least it's an Italian artist, I think, but he does, hey Anna, but he does all kinds of different decks. He has an Egyptian deck, but I'm not crazy about it at all, and I never use it. Yeah, exactly. He does so many decks, but the only deck that really resonates for me is that Afro-Brazilian deck. It just took my, hey, what is this? I don't even know what that is. It just took my intuition to a new level. So that's really the only tarot deck I use. And this deck I never use, but I did a reading for somebody Sunday night, and Spirit told me to take this deck out. And this is the Law of Attraction deck. This actually was one of my students' decks that she bought, but it didn't resonate with her. She gave it to me, and it literally has sat on my altar for years. And then I pulled it out Sunday, and I've been using it ever since. So I'm going to use that. So, is that the Nefertari Tarot? I think it might be. I don't know. That thing is so... There's 2 decks I have by him, and they are so confusing. Like, I understand that even his Afro-Brazilian deck is not the typical Rider-Waite archetypes, which is fine with me. I don't particularly have to have the Rider-Waite deck, but that Egyptian is like so far off for me personally from the archetypes that I gotta turn this music down, that I can't use it. I just cannot believe how this is typical Gemini energy. Typical Gemini energy. I'm in the bed, getting ready to go to sleep, and then all of a sudden, I start to get crunk. Typical Gemini energy. All right. And now yeah, exactly. I have a lot of Oracle. Yeah, I have a lot of Oracle decks that I like, but I think I have like 4 or 5 Oracle decks, but only really 1 Tarot deck that I like. What I do like about the Rider-Waite is that the archetypes are so crystal clear. So yeah, I love that you're on here and that you're a Tarot person. Is anybody else on here a Tarot person? Hey Kate, how are you? All right. Soul Trees Oracle, and I enjoy the oh, I don't know about those. The Tau Oracle I've seen. I have a really cool it's a sacred geometry deck that's really, really nice too. Okay, so what I'm doing doesn't have anything to do with any signs in particular, Kate. What I'm doing is a general energy read for the new moon in Gemini. So I'm doing I am going to ask from the Goddess deck, what goddess energy will help us get through this period of the new moon? Or what goddess energy should we be evoking or looking at? And then for this Mermaid Oracle deck, this is a more instructional deck. At least that's how I use it. So I am going to be asking for specific instruction, directions, things to look out for during this full moon. And then the last deck that I'm going to use is this Law of Attraction deck that, again, I have not used in many years, but I've been drawn to it this week. So, and again, it could be a new moon. So the new moon, typically, Chris, so the new moon is when you want to sort of start, obviously, like new projects and things like that. So that could be my renewed interest in this deck could just be about that piece, but also Gemini is about, Gemini's really, and I have a Gemini moon, but so Geminis are very into learning and information, receiving information. They are voracious readers and information gatherers, and then they are also information translators. Geminis are very good at translating their ideas, their dreams through art, through whatever, writing, whatever. So that could be also a new type of energy that I'm seeking by using this Law of Attraction. So this I'm going to use as an affirmation deck, right? So this will be the affirmation for the read or the theme for the read. This will be the goddess energy that we either need to be invoking or that's around to protect us. And then this is going to be the instructional deck. So if anybody who is watching, I would ask you to just think about those same things that I said. So this deck is for goddess energy, this deck is instruction, and this is the theme. So then we'll have a joint conversation here since I'm up and I'm supposed to be laying down. All right. So I'll do it like this. I think this might work if I do... Let's see, because I've already shuffled the deck actually, but I will shuffle again. I like to shuffle the deck until, hey Joy Lisa, honey, I haven't seen you in a minute. I like to shuffle the deck until a card falls out. I used to pick cards out of the deck. I no longer do that. I just shuffle and shuffle and shuffle until a card falls out. So that is what I'm going to do for this new moon in Gemini reading. If I can get this phone situated. Let's see. Oh, that works, babe. Just do that. Okay. Perfecto. Okay. So what is who is the goddess that is with us, and what goddess energy to the end? Okay. Oh. Interesting. Interesting. Now that's really interesting. All right, so we actually have 3. Ooh. All right. This is super interesting. So the first card that fell out of the deck was Sedna. And Sedna is the victim card. So what this tells me is that this full moon, this new moon, is bringing up a lot of victim energy that needs to be released. So between this new moon and the full moon that's going to be coming up towards the end of the month, what we want to be doing is we want to be working on our victimhood and the ways that we feed our victimhood. Now, this is super interesting because I'm here in Florida because I'm doing a keynote. I'm here at the Florida Coalition Against Sexual Violence Conference, and I am doing a keynote on Friday about using, I'm not going to say magic, but magic. I'm saying alchemy at the end, of using the arts and alchemy to heal from sexual violence. So this is like freaking interesting. So today was the first day of the conference. I wasn't there. Like I got in, and like I said, I went and got a massage, and I went and did a whole bunch of other things to take care of myself. So I would say for anybody who's watching this that you would want to do the same throughout this new moon. You do not want to be allowing yourself to fall into victimhood. This is Sedna. So you want to be nurturing yourself through this time. You want to be calling on Sedna to help you to release the victim energy. Now, that's the first card that fell out. How am I going to position this? See, this is why I like to have my camera and do this at home. I done got spoiled now. This impromptu is funny. Okay, so that's Sedna. The next card that came out was Surrender. Yemeya. So in this deck, Yemeya is about surrender. So that's super interesting to me as well. So stepping away from victimhood and surrendering. Okay, now if we were to do, so 3 cards fell out. So the third card that fell out is Pachamama. How perfect. 20 minutes ago I was fighting thoughts that were trying to pull me into that mode. Yeah, this is, so again, Gemini is an air sign, right, too. So Gemini is also about, air signs are also about the mind, right? And so overthinking, running thoughts over and over and over in your head, your mind going in a million different ways. So that's also the energy of this particular time right now is you need to be careful with your mind, because your mind can be playing tricks on you. Because not only is the new moon happening, there's a lot of other astrological things happening. So things are kind of foggy right now. So you just want to be careful, especially around relationships and things like that, around making any rash decisions or quick decisions or anything. You just want to be kind of careful about that. So back to Pachamama. So Pachamama is the earth. Pachamama is the source of all things. And so isn't it interesting that we get Pachamama? So in this deck, it has to do with healing and being holy. Now, I like that 3 cards. I could go so many ways with this. I cannot believe. Okay. There's so many ways I can go with this. All right. So first of all, this is like if I was to do a past, present, future, which I often do, and the past can be 2 weeks ago. It's the recent past. So it can be 2 weeks ago. It can be 2 months ago. It can be, longer than that, but it's the recent past, right? And so if in the past you were dealing with this victim energy, right? And then in your present situation, what this would be saying is this would be a time for surrender. Now, I typically work with Yemeya in a different way, but with this particular deck, I do just go with this surrender piece. So during this time of the full moon, we would want to be surrendering. We would want to be stepping away from this victimhood, or maybe even like Chris said 20 minutes ago, this is something that came up for you. So this would be the immediate past. And then in the present, you would want to be surrendering to this. You would want to be asking Yemeya, for help with this. You might want to do a little mini altar during this time to Yemeya. You might want to do some offerings to Yemeya during this time, right? So that's your present. And then the future, in the future position, we have Pachamama again, the earth. I don't know how my iPhone storage is full. Okay, iPhone. And so then in the future, then we have moving into a place of healing and wholeness. I mean, this could not be more perfect to go from victimhood to wholeness. And the answer to that is surrender. And how often do we run away from that surrendering? How often do we try to control, everything around us? And we know Pachamama, we know that with what's going on with the weather, with this, with that, we know we cannot control really anything. We certainly cannot control Mother Nature. So Pachamama is here to affirm that you have to surrender, because if you do not surrender, you will continue to feed that victimhood. Now, we know that sometimes people like to feed that victimhood. We know that, no human being does anything just because, right? People do things because it's serving them, even if it doesn't make them feel good in the moment. People do that. That's how people are. So a lot of times, you're getting something from that victimhood. If you stay in that victim place, then you never really have to show up as the person that you're supposed to be. So that's just what people do. That's just kind of what it is. So I say all that to say that also a Gemini also can be, quite mercurial also because of the planet that guides Gemini. So Gemini also can be quite a tricky energy, right? So again, during this time, you might want to make sure that you're not being lied to. You might want to make sure that you're not being the victim of somebody's lies and chicanery and mendacities, right? And that you want to surrender to maybe a truth that you may not want to see. So there might also be some secrets that get revealed between now and the new moon. So you might want to also look at Pachamama, because Pachamama again is the earth. So we know that is grounding. So you may also want to ground yourself. Surround and ground. Surround and ground. Because you could be being lied to. You could be the victim of somebody's lies as well. So that's 2 ways to look at this reading. Again, and this is just very basic. This is just what's just coming forward right now. I'm not even really getting too deep into it, but yeah, so that's basic. So you could be the victim of somebody's lies, and you need to surrender to the truth, and you need to ground yourself, and there's that. Or you're being a victim, you're victimizing yourself in a way, and you need to surrender and know that you can no longer do that, and ground yourself as well and move towards your healing. Again, the good thing is we are moving from victimhood to healing, past, present, future. You can't do no better than that. You can't do no better than that. You can, I mean, if you really look at even with the cards, so I don't just read, you know, the cards per se. I look at the colors. So we have lots of blue in this. And so that also tells me that there's a lot of emotion because blue is water. Sedna's underwater. Yemeya, of course, is underwater. So then again, that goes back to this thing about these lies, these things that are being hidden, these things that are down in the depths, right? But then we are elevating. We're going from the depths to the mountains. I mean, we can't get but much better than that. And then even to get a little deeper, you see, what is this right here? This is a snake skin. So what do snakes do? Snakes shed and snakes transform. So again, we are transforming if we are doing our work, if we're not being lazy, as people like to be lazy also. But if we're not being lazy, then we're moving from that victimhood. We're doing our surrendering work. And then like that snake, we shed our skin. Okay, I can go kind of fast, so I'm going to slow down a little bit, right? But then we also know that snakes mean something else, right? So either way, we want to shed them snakes. What you mean you can't believe how far? You know what? Because clearly you do not know who I am. You ain't noticed what I do. Let me put this thing on myself. This is what I do, sir. This is what I do. Now let me get back to the curds. Oh my God, I have no sense. Okay, so let's see. All right, so we've got the blue. So I also like to look for other colors. So we've got the gold in here, and then we've got this in here. We've got the corn, which is nourishment, right? So what that tells me is that no matter what you're going through, there's always nourishment there. We know again that the earth, the universe continues to give. So no matter whether you're being lied to or whatever, nourishment, healing is here for you. However, you have to do the work. And at this point, the work is just surrendering to what is. Surrendering, maybe journaling, maybe, calling on a counselor, surrendering to the fact that you can't do the thing, whatever it is, you can't continue to do that thing anymore. Okay? So that's that. All right, so at this point, this will probably just be validation. So let's just see what the mermaid cards have to say around instruction. So what is the instruction for the new moon? And what I'll do is I will download this and then I'll upload it to YouTube. So it'll be there. This will be live and the recording won't go away. Because I know I can go fast once the messages start coming through. Oh no, that's too many cards. That's way too many cards. Okay. So the way I was taught is that when the cards take a long time to come out. Oh yeah, I know. We have an appointment anyway. We gotta make that happen. We are overdue for our conversation. And I'm gonna start doing more readings anyway. It's just, they just kind of fall by the wayside when I'm doing all these other things. All right. There we go. I'll just let y'all look at Pachamama for a minute. Just the instruction. There we go. Uh-oh. Do we have another one? No? That's it? All right. So, explore your options. It's time to look at other possibilities. It's a good time to make changes. So we're just going to let that be a continuation of the story. Tarot is a story. It is a story. The cards tell a story. So we're either victimizing ourselves or we're being victimized by someone else. So we know that now presently we are in a time of surrender. We know that there is beautiful light and support and healing at the end of the tunnel. What this also might mean is there might be some surrender and then spending time in nature actually for more grounding. And folks may have been getting this message too, that they need to spend time in nature. They need to put their hands in the dirt. They need to put their feet in the dirt, put their feet in the water. They may need to spend some time with Pachamama. And then once they do that, then they will be able to see clearly, because again, things are being clouded. And so then we can move forward and explore those options and do something different. So this is basically the energy. This is what's popping off right now. So do your grounding, and then you can start to explore other options. Because if you try to make any changes without changing your behavior, it's not going to work. You're just going to end up in the same position. So that's that. So let's see what our affirmation is. What is our affirmation for this time? This is actually very on point for me as well. Not so much the being lied to piece or the victimhood piece, but definitely the surrender piece, because I can be so impatient and controlling and wanting things to happen on my time frame, which is very much a Libra trait, especially with the Capricorn rising. You know, we can be super controlling. So that surrender piece is very important for me. And that grounding. Patricia. Girl, we have got to connect. I will be back in Hartford Friday night. And I'll be there till like Monday. Hopefully we can. And then I'll be back on like the 26th. And I'll be there till the second week of June. So hopefully we can connect. Okay. So this is the affirmation. So the affirmation. Okay, sounds good. I miss your face. Okay. So this is the affirmation. My dream thoughts are not creative thoughts. So I actually just pulled this for a client the other night. And so basically this says, whatever you are thinking and therefore feeling and that which you are attracting is always a match. Also, what you are thinking and feeling in the dream state and what is manifesting in your life experience is always a match. Your dreams give you a glimpse into what you are creating, but you are not in the process of creating while you are dreaming. Okay? I'm going to read it again because it's kind of like wordy. And whatever you are thinking and therefore feeling and that which you are attracting is always a match. So put simply, the inside mirrors the outside. Messy house, messy mind. Just period, right? Or it's not messy, but cluttered, right? So cluttered house, typically cluttered mind, right? So whatever you're feeling on the inside is what's going to manifest on the outside. Also, what you are thinking and feeling in the dream state and what is manifesting in your life experience is always a match. So that's taking it a step even deeper. So they're saying not only is what you're thinking and you're feeling attracting your present situation, but what you're feeling in your dream state and what you're manifesting in your life experiences is always a match. Now, why that is important is because people... Okay, I need to be on camera. Y'all need to stop watching fuck shit before you go to bed. Excuse the language. What you are thinking and feeling in the dream state and what is manifesting is always a match. Don't be watching the ID channel before you go to bed. Don't go to sleep with that TV on, putting all of that stuff into your mind. What you are thinking and feeling in the dream state and what is manifesting in your life is always a match. Turn the TV off. Better yet, take the television out of your bedroom. That is Feng Shui 101. If you can't, if the TV is too big, throw a blanket or a cover or something like that over the TV. Again, that is Feng Shui 101, because even if the TV is off, those frequencies and things like that are still going in your subconscious, in your energy field, in your aura, etc. Okay, your sleep, when you're in your dream state, you are in like the most vulnerable state as possible. It's like when you drink or do drugs or whatever, right? When you're drinking, you're in a very vulnerable state to all types of energies. Same with like drugs or whatever. You're at that's why they call it, in my opinion, why they call it spirits, because you're very vulnerable. It is the same thing when you are sleeping. By matter of fact, Dr. Wayne Dyer, there is I'm going to find that quote. There's a quote, and it says something like, God puts the thoughts in the mind while the person is sleeping or something like that. But anyway, you don't want that negative stuff going in your head while you're sleeping, or even like negative music, like listen to some Tibetan chimes on YouTube or something like that. Listen to something very peaceful. You want to speak life, in those last couple minutes before you go to bed. You want to be speaking life into your subconscious mind. Because so here's the other thing. So that's the one side. So the flip side of that, the great side, is that you can also program and actually do work in the dream state. You can resolve conflicts in the dream state. If you go to my counterpart, Dr. G Love's website, or even her YouTube or whatever, I'm sure she's got information up there about doing work in the dream state. Okay? You can resolve stuff there. So if you want to manifest certain things before you go to bed, maybe you don't want to chant, maybe you don't want to meditate, maybe you don't want to journal, all good. Listen to like some good, positive, life-affirming things. Be careful with those hypnosis people, though, and that negative releasing things on YouTube, because I used to do that, and I used to wake up and be in the most negative state. Like I would be in a great mood for weeks, and then I'd be like, oh, let me listen to this YouTube DNA structuring. Wait a minute now. Now you starting to talk about math. What you doing? Wait. I like that, because if you think about it, if you masturbate before bed, you're draining yourself of life. Well, maybe you men are, because we don't drain anything. I think that's y'all, and y'all be skeeting all over the place anyway. So yeah, that's right. You need to be doing that reverse masturbation. You should look up the reverse where you keep the sperm inside. I used to know the name of it. I don't know. I'm tired now, so I can't think of it. But instead of just outward, there is a way that you can retain the sperm and use it to rejuvenate yourself so that you're not Yes, child. The penis listen, there's a lot of broken penises out there, child. The penises, because y'all just be jerking off all the time. Just jerk, 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 jerk. Anyway. And then by the time you're 30 and 40, the poor little penis is just wore out. It's just wore out. So anyway, ladies, we're fine. We can masturbate before bed. All right. Now, so we know we're going to listen to positive, life-affirming things before we go to bed. And then it says, your dreams give you a glimpse into what you are creating, but you are not in the process of creating whilst you are dreaming. I'm going to read that again. Your dreams give you a glimpse into what you're creating, but you are not in the process of creating while you're dreaming. Oh! See, you better give that thing a break. That poor penis, Lord have mercy. Anyway, okay. So we know what we're going to do, right? We're going to speak life into our brains before we go to bed. We're going to listen to gentle music. We're going to listen to nice things. And so I like this piece about your dreams give you a glimpse into what you're creating. So the other thing that you can do is you can actually program what you want to dream about. That takes practice, but you can work with that subconscious mind and program what you want to think about, what you want to dream about, and what you want to manifest before you go to bed. And then when you wake up in the morning, before you get up and go about your day, you want to spend some time in that manifestation place as well. Does that make sense? So you want to be thinking about the things that you want to create and the things that you want to manifest before you go to bed. And the first thing in the morning, when you wake up, you want to replay those things. If there are very specific, look, this is turning into a manifestation video. I do not have time. Let me, so I'm going to say this and then I'm getting off. If you really have things that you specifically want to manifest, you want to write those things down and read those things. So that's what I'm doing now. Like I have a list of things that either gratitude, like a list of gratitude, things you're grateful for that happened to you out through the day, or things that you want to attract into your life. Read that before the bed. And then when you wake up in the morning, you want to visualize those things. You want to feel the feeling as if those things are really happening. You want to think about what you're wearing, how you're feeling, who's with you. You know, you want to just create, and most of the people on here tonight are artists, which is amazing because, you know, we have fabulous imaginations. So you want to live that thing. You want to live that dream when you first wake up in the morning. Sometimes your brain, when you first wake up, will start to like be really scattery and like jump all over the place. So you want to just don't judge it. Just let that happen. And then you want to focus on that thing that you want to attract. So that's it. That's all I have. So we know that we're working with this for this period from the new moon to the full moon. We know we are releasing victimhood. And the way we're doing that is we are surrendering to what is. We're gonna stop being control freaks, at least between now and the full moon. And then we are going to do our grounding with Mother Earth, with Pachamama. So that means we're either going to go outside and put our feet in the dirt, put our feet in the sand, maybe plant, garden, do something like that. Take a walk in nature, but you are going to ground. You're going to surrender and ground. And then once you're feeling more grounded, then we're going to start to explore our options. So this might be actually more from the full moon on. I would say past, present, future for this new moon, and then for this full moon, because again, that's towards the end of the month. We're going to be looking at other possibilities. Again, we're not making any quick, sudden moves. We don't need to be making no quick, sudden moves unless we like have to. But we don't want to be making any quick, sudden moves. We want to be in a space of curiosity, exploring our options, asking questions, paying attention. So that is where we're going to be from the full moon on. We're going to be in a space of curiosity. Okay? And that's a part of surrender as well. Instead of getting all upset and twerked out about things, we can be in a space of curiosity about those things. We can look at things and be like, look at you, trauma. Look at how you're just showing up right now. I'm really curious about what's making you show up. So just being in a space of curiosity. So yeah, any questions before I turn this off? Chris, you and I are going to talk. We have an appointment. We are overdue. Hopefully we can make that happen in July. Does anybody else have any questions? You're welcome, sweet pea. I can't wait to see you this weekend, Patricia. Thank you, Chris. All right. Have a good night. Melissa. Oh, you know what, Melissa? Somebody was asking for a photographer today. Are you in the South or where are you at? Hey, Nicole. Who is Lou? Oh, the hypnosis videos. Okay, yeah, great question. So on YouTube, and it's not just the hypnosis ones, it's also the DNA releasing videos and the videos about negativity. So I have found, and I've been talking to a lot of people like for a couple of years about this, where I have been in a great mood and then I go to sleep listening to that subconscious and the beta beats that they have. I listen to them and I wake up with like a crazy attitude, or I wake up depressed. And then it's like for like 2 weeks, I'm like upset when I have literally been on a high, feeling great. Listen to one of those videos on YouTube, and then the next thing you know, I'm sad. And you know that there was a young man actually that was following some guy on YouTube, and he jumped off of a building, in New York, a young gentleman. There was some guy that was doing hypnosis or something. This was a couple of years ago, but he was like I think he was teaching people transcendental meditation or something. He was teaching people something. But anyway, we have to be careful with those YouTube videos. I say all that to say that we have to be careful with those YouTube videos because, again, we do not know. Those things are working on our subconscious mind. We do not know who is making those videos. We just don't know what is in that music. And again, in those images, I've talked to more than one person that's had that experience. So, especially if you're doing work around chakra work, you're doing third eye opening work, you don't want to be learning how to open your third eye on the YouTube. You want to get a teacher. Patricia is on here. Patricia is a fabulous healer. Dr. G is a fabulous healer. You can go to soul shifting retreats. There are like on that Facebook page, there are healers, Rose Wonder Fabulous. There are lots of people that are like real show enough healers, and me, of course, that you can call, that you can go to. You don't want to be trying to open your third eye on the YouTube, nor do you want to be trying to get Reiki and all of that over the computer. No tea, no shade if anybody's on here that's doing that, but that is just not something that I recommend because, again, we're dealing with electronics, we're dealing with the energy, we're dealing with the subconscious mind, so we need to be careful, and we need to be with people who we can look in the eye, feel their energy, and know, okay, because there's tricky people in church. So if you getting tricked, see, now it's 10 o'clock. I'm not messing with y'all. I'm just saying, be careful, like Cardi B said. That's all. Be careful. All right. That's it. I love y'all. I'm so glad that I got out of my bed. to do this. This was amazing. I really have to get better at doing my readings. Maybe I can have myself together and I can do a full moon reading too, because that'd be really, really amazing. I love you too, girl. I'm watching you too. I see all the stuff you're doing. It's really fantastic. For you folks that are on here, check out Miss Chantal Maurice, honey. She is a star. Oh, these bugs are coming in here now. She is a star, honey. So y'all need to be checking her out. Check her out. Follow her on the Facebook. And Chris Livesey as well. Fabulous, fabulous dancer, actor, singer, everything. So, anyway, y'all, I love y'all. Oh, and Melissa Cordona's on here. She's a fantastic photographer. So, support your people. Support your local artists. Support your healers. And I love y'all. And look, hit me up at, let me know what happens. Like, hit me up on the Facebook. Let me know what happens. What comes up for y'all during this time. I'll be super interested to know. All right? Have a good night.